Dear Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
Now that that's done, one thing that is in this game, and I use, it's a video game, whatever, the ghosts that was put in. It feels haunted, and you can actually see some ghosts. And that's the first time I haven't seen one up there, which is surprising. I've also played this on my old system, and it was still really pretty, but there was elements of it that did not load because it just wasn't it was too much for the card. And there's this one room later on in the game where you're in a room of stalactites and stalagmites, and there's like some candles in the middle of them, and it literally did not load any of them, so it was an empty room.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
As I was saying, it would not load anything from the stalactites, stalagmites, any of them. And it was just an empty room with some candles in the middle that you could not access because technically you couldn't reach them because of the stalagmites that were standing around them. Also, the light that was just flashing in that cave, that doesn't always happen. And lately I've been playing this just because it's really pretty. I like environments. I always feel cold when I'm playing this game. So I'm usually in blankets or whatever because the wind, like the sound is amazing on this game. Usually wearing long sleeves while playing this. I would pick games that have so much dialogue in them. never noticed how fake it looks until you stop walking. And then you can see it's just a graphic that has been changed and warped. You can see that it's actually flat, but when you're walking, it looks extremely real. He's gonna start talking again in a second. This reminds me of Nova Scotia. All the rocks. There's barely any sand. It's mostly rocks, beaches. I'm not going in the cave because I really don't care. There's also just going to be more dialogue. We're around now, I think. Talking about his kidney stones. Or his toenails. Guess not. I'm pretty sure I got something dialogue a few walkthroughs that I had just not too long ago. And that was always back there. The environment in this is amazing. There's a little hint of light. The setting sun, so pretty. And we're coming to the end of the first chapter.
I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Now there's another ghost that's up here that you can see if you don't look directly at it. It actually walks down the hill into the pier. So I turn. It's not there yet. stands there contemplating and does nothing else. If you walk up to it, it actually vanishes. And if you look at it, it also vanishes as well. There's just a hint of the ghost being there. The music in this is also really good. Wouldn't mind having the soundtrack. Little things that fly past kind of remind me of the grass jumpers that just absolutely jump so far when you walk through the grass. Now upcoming is another ghost. There's actually, you can see it right standing beside the middle door. There's a little dark line that he doesn't walk or move until you're almost at the house. So keep just watching the dark line, the figure right beside the middle door. I'll do my best to keep it fairly straight. At first I thought that I missed him, and then he moved and I nearly jumped. And now he's gone into the house. Hey, I think it's a check. Can I have some money? So since I had the Damascus or the Morse code ghost earlier on in the cave, I wonder if I actually have the lantern ghost. She doesn't always show up either. No, she's not in the cave over there. I don't see her. There should be like a little flickering light, and then she goes further into the cave out of sight. But she's not there right now. I don't always see her. I very rarely see her. I think it's her. And we have to take the long way down. Let's talk about Jacobson. ghosts in here just because it's fun.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the Bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
The story here is so ambiguous. It's very weird. Very dreamlike. I've read a few theories and I have a few of my own. Not that it's really important.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
And it's a lovely blue.